Welcome to the Hardstuck Champion Tier List for League of Legends Patch 10.19, Worlds Patch. I've barely been able to contain my excitement for all of the massive changes coming up. I can't wait to complain about it in all chat. First off, last week I released the only support guide that you never asked for, so check that out afterwards. The link will be in the description. It's the perfect video if you want to learn the best ways to get back at the community for autofilling you. Or worse, if you're a support main. Ugh. Today's video is special because I locked our Challenger Analysts out of the office and laid waste to the tier list on my own, so it's gonna be a bumpy ride. But before we get started, head on over to Hardstuck to get yourself a Challenger coach today. When I first got a Challenger coach, I was Iron 7. Then I photoshopped my way to rank 1 before being griefed down to Gold 3. So don't make fun of my rank, it's not my fault. Team difference. Anyways, if you're serious about improving at League of Legends, subscribe for more super serious content like this, hit the like button, and let's get this over with. First, we have our question of the day. Do you actually give a shit about pro play? I sure don't, but it's definitely super fun for the entire game to be balanced around the top 0.001% of players. Leave your answer in the comments, I'm actually kinda curious about the results. Push all the other buttons down there, and let's begin our tier list with the top lane. Finally, we see some actual changes up here. Urgot's continued dominance lifts him up into our top tier, replacing Camille. What happened to Camille? Did she get a big nerf? Oh no, that's all. She's still beastly in lots of matchups, but performs tragically against too much of the current top meta. Maokai has been stupid good for literally the entirety of Season 10. He's bounced around a bit from top to jungle to support, even a little bit of mid, but right now, he's got the highest win rate in the whole game from the top lane. Despite this, he still doesn't get played a whole lot, which is fine with me since his full combo can lock you down for over 5 seconds, and I'm not really into bondage stuff anymore. I don't want to talk about it. Amidst the shuffle, I left enough room for Darius to drop back into the 200 plus tier with Shen's nerf bringing him back down to earth. Happy now, Jason? Darius' stats get watered down by bad players who don't know how to carry with an early lead, so don't look too far into his win rate. The dude's still busted. Speaking of Shen, he's in S tier now, but his global presence is always a huge game changer, and his damage is extremely underrated. Also, I don't think most people know how his zone works, and just continue to spam auto attacks, ignoring the fact that they are doing a 0 damage. Maybe read the ability for once? Speaking of reading abilities, if you need guidance reading champion abilities, be sure to go to hardstuck.gg.com and get a Challenger coach today. Hecarim and Cho'Gath have dropped as well due to significantly lower stats from last patch. Kayle is rising in win rate with her tweaks from 10.18, and probably could have been S tier. Too bad I didn't realize any of this until I finalized the formatting here though, so sue me. Against the advice of our Challenger Analysts, I've gone ahead and overreacted to the Aurelia buffs and placed her in S tier as well. This is like 150 AoE damage in most cases. Yeesh. See, Aurelia's main downfall is that nobody can stand losing 100 straight games on her before they actually become good enough to play the champion functionally. But once it clicks, she can still be ridiculous. Who am I kidding? Just play Garen instead. Once again, we have a massive jungle shakeup with another new tier being introduced. From off the list entirely, joining Skarner on his crystalline throne is Udyr. But not just any Udyr, we're talking full AP Phoenix Udyr. I'm extremely confident that Udyr will have well over a 100% win rate on patch 10.19. Hang on, my Challenger Analysts are trying to break down my door and get me away from the editor. Anyways, if any of you jungle players have never tried this build, I highly recommend it. It's ridiculously fun. Phoenix gives you faster jungle clears, and Runic Echoes plus Lich Bane grants insane burst damage while the build still provides you with the classic Udyr schmoves. Objectively, the build was definitely trash until this patch, but here at Hardstuck, we consistently predict the future, so go ahead and fire up a new Udyr theme account, and we'll see you in the stratosphere. Now that was a hell of a tangent. I honestly don't even remember what else I was going to mention here. Well, I remembered to bump Sejuani down from S tier thanks to Holiday Sudden on La Reditino, and actually put Master Yi on the list since, he exists. Oh, that's right. More weirdness. So we all know that Rammus is usually good at low elo, right? More casual players just want to play cool AD champs and don't know how to avoid Rammus ganks. Nothing new there. Except for this. This is Plat Plus in Korea, believe it or not. He's not played a ton, and his win rate still generally declines as you climb, but this is astounding to me. Confidently roll out the Armadillo this patch, especially if you're autofilled and need an easy win. Speaking of autofill, if you need help learning new roles, be sure to join our Discord and get a challenger coach today. Not really, I forgot what the rest of the script was going to be about. Alright, so for all the changes we've been able to make so far, mid continues to hold steady. Galio's nerf was only bothersome to highly experienced players with solid wave management skills, so basically nobody. Annie's win rate has actually climbed up to 55% in some places, even high elos. What's going on here? No idea. I'll have to ask my challenger analysts when they come back with the battering ram. Zed fluctuates between 51 and 52% wins, but his pick rate and ban rate and general solo queue stompiness are plenty enough to lock him into top tier, in addition to the fact that there aren't many up-and-comers right now. Talon continues to be a solo queue menace as well, but hasn't quite been as relevant for a few patches. Yone is broken, but most players still int on him. Malzahar has actually been seeing a bit of success at all levels of play and so rises to the S tier. His value to a team is forcing his opponent's carries to waste gold on Quicksilver Sash or risk having their brains sucked out and their toes nibbled off by Voidlings. A fate worse than death if you ask me. Silas is getting a buff to his ult cooldown, but it's not the change he needs to launch back into relevance. At least that's what I think our challenger analysts would say. I've also seen some Twisted Fate players claim that his upcoming nerf is enough to dumpster him, so we'll keep an eye on that too. Speaking of dumpsters, if you want to improve at mid lane, be sure to check out our MySpace page and sign up to get a challenger coach today. After staring blankly at the ADC stats for a few hours, I decided just to close my eyes and let the spirit of my challenger analysts guide my hands, and this is what they came up with. Honestly, the bot meta is a total shit show right now leading up to Worlds. I mean, I guess it's a good thing for the game, but it sure doesn't make my job any easier. Caitlyn finally got tuned back down, Twitch barely changed despite my overhype from last week, and Ashe has somehow survived being torn limb from limb at the hands of the balance team. Sivir's getting a small buff, Jhin is solid if sometimes inconsistent, Vayne's getting a pretty decent buff, but she's still only good in the tanky team, so that doesn't change much. Misfortune is relevant again since Riot went into her files and pressed Ctrl-Z. Jinx is doing slightly better than usual and always has potential to be nutty in late game, which leaves... yes, Senna. Riot just can't figure this out. When you make a control panel with 50,000 levers, good luck figuring out the proper settings before the entire thing blows up in your face. That's basically Senna. Between her ability to flex to either support or ADC, the RNG free stats from her passive, and the obnoxious Super Soaker heal, Senna has been a balancing nightmare. It's like walking a tightrope holding an elephant in one hand, and in the other hand you have, I don't know, like 100 elephants. Damn, my analogies are on point today. Anyways, they're halving her soul drop rate on minions. Woohoo! She's still stupid and my teammates are still going to bring her root zone to me and get us both killed. Thresh, can you just put her back in the lantern, please? Wow, we actually have a little bit of clarity here. Alright, so people are over Sona and Lux for the most part, though they're both still pretty decent despite their nerfs. Tarek's play rate is so low that I decided to drop him since probably half of his play is just in funnel duos. He's still underrated, but if only 4 people play him legitimately during a patch cycle, should he really be in broken tier? Janna's stats finally stand above just about every other support. This is a really intriguing champion because while she has a very low skill floor, the ceiling is somewhere up in orbit. If you can consistently use Janna's Q and R to stop enemy engages, time your shield for maximum impact on your carries, and stay alive long enough to do it all again, you're legit hard carrying your game. At that point, your teammates just need to keep the hamsters on the wheel and make sure they don't chew through the Ethernet cable again. Lulu still has impressively high picks, bans, and wins despite the variety in ADC choices lately, and a general lack of recent hypercarry play. Ugh, say that 10 times fast. Bard continues his romp through Season 10 as well. All three of our top tier champions illustrate that the best support picks this year are almost always going to have significant engage and defensive ability. Thresh is the ultimate example of this, though his win rate is always bogged down by just how popular he is. Imagine if only Thresh mains played him. Whew. Anyways, Rakan and Nami have similar skill sets as well, though both are slightly undertuned compared to most of the meta right now, so you should stick to the top tier if you want to win. Or just pick Thresh like you were probably going to do anyway. F it. Whew, this concludes our shitty clickbait challenger tier list for patch 10.19. If you hated it as much as I hated making it, you're obligated to subscribe. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Anyways, thanks for watching, good luck on the Rift with all the wonderful nightmare BS Riot has stuck us with yet again, and cue this week's outro beat. Peace!